Hello, I'm Jason Marzak, Vice President and Senior Director of the Adrian Arch Latin America Center at the Atlantic Council, and I'm delighted to be joined here in Panama City with Panama's Foreign Minister Javier Martínez-Acha. Welcome, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very much.
And I'm delighted to be recording with the Minister this series, part of our series of Experts of the Americas, where we sit down with some of the most influential voices from the public and private sector from across the Americas to talk about some of the most urgent challenges and also opportunities that exist. The Foreign Minister has been in this position since July of 2024 and comes as Foreign Minister after a very long career, nearly 30 years working in investment, finance, securities, a business person who knows how to get things done. I want to ask you, Mr.
Don't forget my year as intelligence.
And intelligence as well. Well, we'll talk over the next few minutes. We'll talk about some big news that just came about with regard to Panama, as well as migration, of course, the Panama Canal, and also what's coming up in a few weeks, which is Panama taking over the UN Security Council, the presidency. But let's start, very important news, and it was also on the front pages of the Panamanian papers about the EU's decision to remove Panama from its gray list of with regard to anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing. This is a significant move not only to facilitate more European investment into Panama, but also signal to investors around the world about the business climate in Panama. How significant is this for you?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, it is a pleasure to share this outlet with American people. It means a lot for our government. It is the result of the determination of President Molino to put on the agenda of the country, to prioritize the name of the country, the removal of Panama from this discriminatory list. If you search the different speeches that our president has delivered in different forums in the United Nations, in the Summit of Financing in Sevilla, he has always dedicated an important part to this issue. We have followed his leadership. He set the strategy. We finally convinced the European Union, I need to say, with the help of the Trump administration, that Panama was not a country to be allocated in such a list. We need to also highlight the support of many countries in the European Union: Spain, Italy, Greece, France, the bilateral relation between President Boards, President Molino and President Macron has developed close ties. Me, personally, has traveled the European Union, many capitals, explaining why Panama needed to be removed. They all voted for Panama to be part of the Security Council of the United Nations. And then how can you have Panama in a list that finances terrorism? Doesn't make sense, right? And it's also the result of important legislation that we have enacted. We right now, as a country, are a strong ally of the European Union, of the United States, deflagging vessels that are violating sanctions of the European Union or the United Nations. So this is a government that has shown with facts that we are reliable partners, that we are a country that respects the rule of law, and then we want to work together with, democracies and also with our partners.
So speaking about cooperation with the United States, just recently the United States pledged $8 million to support a project that Panama began about 8 years ago to replace Huawei telecommunications towers with US technology. This will help Panama to not only improve its communication systems, but also expand connectivity to many additional provinces. Can you share a little bit about how this agreement came about, and also how do you see this shaping the next stage of Panama's relationship with the United States?
Okay, it is important to remark that this agreement was under the presidency of Mr. Varela. He was the president that opened up the relations with China. Yes, we consider that we need a good technology, better technology, because time has passed. And the USA and Panama agree to invest in updating the technology across the country. At the end, I believe we will have like 17 new towers of communication for our security forces, for the Senan and for the Senafrom, in order to have secure communication to reduce the risk of being, intervened by organized crime, by different asymmetrical threat that we could face in this country. The canal is an asset for the whole world. It belongs to Panama. We have managed the canal in 25 years very, very efficiently. And we need to have a technology to protect ourselves against different risks.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We are updating the technology, and yes, with the good cooperation and the good collaboration and the mutual understanding that we have with the USA, we are doing this in partnership with the counterpart from the USA.
Speaking about cooperation with the United States, Secretary Nome was here recently as part of that.
I was invited to her ranch in South Dakota.
Oh, fantastic.
So we'll go.
Okay. It seemed like that's an invitation you have to accept.
Yes.
But as part of that, the migration cooperation between the U.S. and Panama is fundamental. And as part of her visit, a new memorandum of understanding was signed to be able to continue the program where Panama works with the United States on charter flights to be able to repatriate migrants that have come to Panama without authorization, largely through the Darien back to their country of origin. How do you assess the impact of this ongoing partnership with Secretary Nome on migration? And also, how is it also important for Panama's broader security and regional stability?
Well, first of all, we decided to renew the MOU on irregular migration on July 1st. I signed, my first act as a foreign minister was to sign the MOU with the previous American administration. We got critics from the opposition and from the extreme left in this country. Also, some colleagues around the area asked me about the experience. Now I can say that MOU is a total success. When President Molino took over, even before he took over office, he pledged during the campaign to reduce irregular migration coming from the Darien Gap to the USA. In 2023, more than 500,000 people crossed the Darien Gap toward the USA. In 2023, that was a huge problem for my country. In 2024, more than 300,000 crossed the Darien Gap toward the USA. Until June this year, less than 3,000 people have made the journey toward the USA. The conclusions are solid.
Yeah.
The strategy set by President Molino in cooperation with the USA that provides funds for charter and commercial flights to repatriate irregular migrants is working. It is like a dissuasion weapon. Don't dare to cross the Darien Gap because you are found without, legal documents. You are found violating our sovereignty or our migrations rules, you could be deported.
Yeah.
So again, it has been a success. Different colleagues in the area have asked me if they should sign a similar document, and my recommendation has been yes, sign the document because it really helps to tackle the problem of migration.
Another big important topic for the bilateral relationship is, of course, the Panama Canal. And the Panama Canal is just absolutely vital waterway, not only for Panama, but also for the United States, given the fact that upwards of nearly 3/4 of the trade volume that passes through the canal is coming to or heading from U.S. ports. There's a lot of infrastructure projects that are being considered to be able to further accelerate the capacity of the canal, whether that's on the waterfront, whether that's gas pipelines. Could you share a little bit about the plans for the canal and also the importance of the United States as a partner as Panama continues to look at improving the capacity of the canal?
First, the last part. Of course, the USA is the most important partner for Panama in terms of security, in terms of cooperation to tackle the different risks and asymmetrical threat that the world faces. But most important, in terms of commerce. Commerce between Panama and the USA is very important. You have a surplus. You have like 2.3 billion surplus.
Yeah.
You export to us much more than we export to you. But most important that the American public needs to know is that 70% of all container cargo from the USA or toward the USA goes through the Panama Canal, through the canal expanded by the Panamanians with our money. And 40% of all energy export from Texas, from the port of Houston, goes through the Panama Canal through Asia. So that's a very, very important reality that shows that Panama is a partner, a very important partner for the USA. The expanded canal provoked that the export of U.S. merchandises, of U.S. gas to Asia, were more than compensated by the airflow of Panama. So yes, the canal needs to maintain its competitiveness, and they, because they have by constitution independent management, are planning to invest heavily in ports, in a gasoduct, and also in a reservoir to make sure that the canal doesn't suffer again shortage of water when we do have the dry season in Panama. At the end, when they are finished, all the projects, you could be talking about $10 billion in infrastructure project. And we invite American firms to come to Panama and to participate in the bidding process. Because again, we are very, very satisfied with the current relationship of respect between the Molinos administration and the Trump administration. And that's why we ask, respect. The only one we need to have clear here is that we share values, we share principles, and we are allies. And in this region, we are the best ally of the USA right now.
And as U.S. firms are thinking about coming to Panama, I'll say it's only a 4-hour flight from Washington to come here. It's
3 from Miami.
3 from Miami as well. Moving beyond the bilateral, next month is Panama will be taking over the rotating presidency of the UN Security Council. This comes at a time in which there is great complexity at a global level, multiple different challenges that are being faced around the world.
Yes.
What is your vision and the country's priorities for this period in which Panama will be in charge of the UN Security Council presidency?
You are right. You are very right. This is a very complex war. We have conflict in Eastern Europe, in the Middle East, in the Red Sea. We, as a founding member of the United Nations, want to prioritize, a very effective multilateralism. I would like to highlight effective. Also, we want to make sure that the principles of the United Nations Charter are respected, and we're willing to work with partners in the Security Council to find, through mediation, through negotiation, solutions to the different conflicts around the world. We welcome Mr. Trump's initiative to try to find peace in the Middle East. I think that when that has been achieved, things will be easier toward the Eastern Front in Europe. And hopefully by the end of this year, with the help of the different superpowers in the world, and the Security Council members, small countries like mine, could also be a bridge, a port, a door to try to find a peaceful solution to different conflicts. That's our goal, and that's our intention. Panama has a long history of being a good broker of finding solutions in the area, and we will try to produce engagement between different actors to find solutions.
Well, Mr. Minister, it's been a pleasure to sit down with you and touch on everything from the UN Security Council to migration to technology to the gray list, and to do so here in this beautiful building here in Panama City.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure.